Missed calls, slow replies, and scattered conversations aren't just annoying, they're money left on the table. Make this the year you prioritize your business communications with Quo, spelled Q-U-O. Quo gives your entire team one shared business number for calls and texts, so nothing gets lost and everyone sees the full conversation. You can keep your existing number, easily add teammates, sync your CRM, and scale as you grow. Plus, Quo's built-in AI automatically logs calls, summarizes conversations, and highlights next steps, so nothing slips through the cracks, even after hours. That's why Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by over 90,000 businesses. Make this the year where no opportunity slips away. Try Quo for free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/tryquo. That's QUO.com/tryquo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers.
Looking for a Valentine's gift she'll truly love? 1-800-Flowers.com knows what she wants. For 50 years, 1-800-Flowers has helped guys like you get it right, delivering millions of fresh Valentine's roses nationwide. 1-800-Flowers offers premium fresh-cut flowers backed by their 7-day freshness guarantee, plus same-day delivery when you need them on time. Valentine's is coming up and bouquets are selling fast, so don't wait on this. Order today at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Emotionally unavailable.
Hello. Okay. I'm in a bitchy mood today. I'm just gonna be really real. PMS is killing me and it's a full moon but I had been like gathering thoughts for my next solo and didn't think that I would be recording this today. I don't know when I'll release it, but I just keep thinking about this over and over and over. So I'm like, oh, I just want to talk about it. So I'm going to tell you why I've been thinking about this. I'm going to start with the story. I'm going to ask that you just listen to the whole thing before you jump to conclusions, or like if you get triggered by what I'm saying, I'm just asking you to just for a minute, okay? So, a few days ago on TikTok, I came across a lost mom. She had a stillborn at full term in labor. I'm not going to finish that story because it's her story and whatever. So, this is what happened. Somebody, I think, I didn't see the original post this happened on, but I came across her response initially. And somebody said something to the effect of, like, I get it. Like, I lost my dog and that was really hard. And if you listen to actually, that may be this week's episode with Angie, we discussed that, like people saying things like that to you when you're grieving. And I will tell you, there was a time in my life I would have reacted very strongly to somebody saying that. But I did have somebody say that not that long ago, and I just was like, bless your heart. So, the thing is that she reacted pretty strongly, and then, hey, let me make this clear. Your grief is your grief, your journey is your journey, your emotions are your emotions. I have no like stake in the fact that I don't have a judgment, I don't have an opinion, I don't have anything. I literally am like, hey, you do you, boo. If that felt authentic to you and you needed to respond in that way, gotcha. No worries. But this conversation is what has had me thinking so much lately. So I'm like, just want you to know what happened. So, yeah, so she got really upset and she was like, yeah, not the same thing. And she's very snarky in her responses in a way that I really appreciate because damn it, sometimes I want to be snarky to people when they piss me off. So, yeah, so she, she is snarky. She's kind of sarcastic. I would say snarky, yeah. So she's like, not the same, but thank you, right? And that really triggered the person/people who had offered that as like kind of a source of connection of grief. And so they come back with, "Ugh, you shouldn't be comparing grief." And then she comes back with, and it's this whole back and forth that entire week on TikTok, I think. I just came across her account, so this may not have been recent. And I might have just been seeing them because, of course, obviously, child loss and lost moms and grief are being funneled to my algorithm right now. And by the way, it really helps me. So maybe it would help you too if you're grieving. But anyway, um, so she came back with, okay, let's say the grief itself is the same. It's still not the same type of loss because I had to go through labor and episiotomy, whatever, to deliver a baby that was not alive and get milk come in, all that stuff, right? And that did not matter to the people who were saying you shouldn't compare grief. Her coming back with that qualifier did not matter to them. And I just like, okay, well, so I really thought about how I felt about it because I don't necessarily think that you should say to somebody, I get it, unless it is the same type of loss, especially when you're talking to somebody who's lost a child. Now, well, I have a lot of qualifiers about that and caveats, but I just got really curious about the entire interaction because I was like, why? Because listen, I've been a person who's gotten really pissed in the past at people saying the wrong thing, saying stuff like, I get it, or whatever. Or even I had a cousin say that it was worse that her and her dad didn't have a good relationship than it was that my dad died. Shit like that. It's very hurtful, right? Okay, so I started thinking about this a lot. And I think that I started to be like, okay, so what is the wound here? Like, why is this triggering? And why have I been triggered by this exact same thing? Um, because I don't what I've noticed is there's a large group of people who don't respond to the grief education that's out there that says, hey, here's a list of things that are really helpful when someone you love is grieving. Here's a list of things that are really hurtful when someone you love is grieving. And I even had a friend tell me once, because I said that when I wrote my first book, it's just people telling me how sad it made them feel felt so violating almost. Just such like a I can't even explain it. It hurt me so bad because it felt like well, it was that I'm too much thing. And I just felt like I was too much. My story was too much. And so I told her that and she's like, "See, it's people like you that make me just want to say nothing at all." And that hurt my feelings, but I've, thought about it since then and I'm like, I get it. So, I don't want to make this episode about things not to say to people because I think there are lots of places that you can get that information. And so, um, that's just not the point of this for me today. So, anyway, I was thinking like, what is the wound being triggered here when someone says something like, I get it, and you feel like they don't get it. Okay, I'm gonna have to be so vulnerable and honest here, and I don't want to do that. But um please know this. If anything I say references y- y- if you're a person in my personal life and you listen to this, I might be speaking about one of our interactions, but I am telling you that I am not blaming anyone. I am explaining my emotional responses to things and what I'm doing to understand them. So I'm asking you to not, I don't even know. I'm not going to ask you to do anything, actually. I'm just going to explain to you that this is about me and I'm very much making it about me. I'm not making it about you. This is about me and my emotional responses to things. So, um, I have a friend that has always been an online friend that we met at an online support group for trying to conceive when I was trying to conceive Jake. And we've maintained contact all these years. Well, with the Facebook algorithm being kind of what it's been over the last year, I I don't see lots of people. Um, a and now I'm seeing more, but anyway, I think I'm more active on there than I was. Once I started posting clips more often, it got pushed to more people, and so they see my stuff, I see theirs. Why am I explaining that? Anyway, there's lots of people I don't see on Facebook very much, and so I missed that she lost her husband over the summer, and, they've been married since they were, like, teenagers, like, really, really young, like, 18 years old, 19 years old, whatever, and it was a tragic, like, car accident, s sudden, all this stuff, and I hurt for her really bad because I just it's sad, you know? It's terrible, it's awful. Anyway, so, she commented on one of my statuses that I posted about Jake, and at some point, she's like, "I get it, blah, blah, blah." And I've had a lot of people say that. Um, and part of me, when they say that, just rails, like, violent, like, "You don't fucking get it. Unless you've lost a child, you don't fucking get it." And I've been very curious about that response because it's fleeting, it's very fast, but today, I want to share a book series that truly meets you where you are. Letters to Myself by Jen Taylor, LCSW, is a powerful collection written by a New York based spiritual psychotherapist with over 23 years of experience. Each volume invites you to write your way through trauma, healing, and self compassion, from sexual assault and abuse to bullying and cult recovery. These aren't just books you read, they're books you work with. If you're ready to reflect, release, and reconnect with yourself, search Letters to Myself by Jen Taylor on Amazon today, and I will also have a link in the show notes.
Imagine you're a business owner relying on a dozen different software programs. Each one is expensive, overly complicated, and worst of all, none of them are connected. It can be incredibly stressful, right? Now, picture Odoo. CRM, accounting, inventory, manufacturing, marketing, HR, and more. Odoo brings all the tools your business needs into one simple platform, and all seamlessly connected. Everything works together, giving you the peace of mind that your business is running smoothly from every angle. Odoo's open source applications are user-friendly and designed to scale with your business, saving you time and money. Say goodbye to juggling multiple platforms and hello to efficient integrated management. Stop wasting resources on complicated systems and make the switch to Odoo today. Visit odoo.com, ODOO.com, and discover how Odoo can simplify and streamline your business operations. Odoo, modern management made simple.
I want to pay attention to that because that's the type of shit that would make me push everyone away before. So I'm like, oh, let's not do that. What is this? Why is that so triggering to you? And then I come across that girl's video and she's very triggered and she's saying, "You don't fucking get it." And I was like, ooh, I resonate with that. What is this? And then I see these, other grievers. They're grieving their pets, they're grieving their parents, they're grieving whatever, and they feel like they get it. And they're saying, "You don't fucking get it." And I think we all get it, you know? And then it made me think, okay, I remember, and I think I've told this story here. I know I told it to Angie on that same episode, but um Brian had a really bad breakup in his 20s that really impacted him. And oh, he may not like me telling the story. Oh well. Um, and in his little mind at that time of his life, he really believed um, because he felt very unseen and uncared for during that time after the breakup. And, I'm like a tell me your deepest, darkest shit. So when we meet, I'm hearing all of his history and I loved to get them talking because then I could just be, oh, yeah. Anyway, so he tells me the story of the break. I'm sure I asked about all of his dating history, real nonchalant. But I remember him saying, I felt like that pain of, like, as much as, like, losing a child, not he was not comparing her to, like, a child, but, like, he was comparing pain levels, and nobody gave a shit, basically. And I remember being kinda triggered by that because losing a child has always been my number one fear. And so, um, I remember being like, wow, N not even the same, brother, because he didn't have kids at the time, so I was like, he couldn't understand that, he couldn't understand, but what I realized in that moment as I was working through that trigger is what he's saying is, I was in the worst pain of my life, and I felt very uncared for, and it hit him in that neglect wound, that he had the weight of the world on his shoulders, and he was the only one to carry it, and so that is the space that these things hit. Um, it's that neglect wound. You feel like people don't see your pain. And I'm really struggling through that right now. Not in like a all-consuming way, but I refuse to be performative about my grief to please somebody else or even to attempt to garner the type of support I crave. Um And so one of the things that I've really struggled with because, I mean, the fact of the matter is, and I am not saying this to hurt anyone's feelings, I've always said this is how it goes, and this is exactly how it's gone for me, is you get about 2 weeks. You get about 2 weeks. And if you lose a kid, maybe you'll get up to 2 months. But I'll tell you, we're at the 6-week mark, and I'm probably only asked how I'm doing 2 to 3 times a week. Which is very different. The reason I'm saying it that way, it's very different than hundreds of messages pouring in that first couple of weeks, okay? Now, I have refused to get lost in the sauce with all that, but it does make me think. So I started wondering, why does that bother you? And what do you need to do differently? Because those are all the same little bullshit cycles I put myself in before with loss and other shit. Listen, I'm a fucking Leo moon. There's not been a time in my life that something made me feel like nobody gives a fuck about me, okay? That's my fucking plight in this earth, I swear to God. So I was like, okay, let's get curious about that. And I was like, what do I need to do to feel supported by people? Do they have to reach out first for me to feel supported? The subconscious programming that I have received and that kind of can take over on autopilot sometimes, the truth is it says, yeah. It pulls that grandma narrative, right? All the shit she used to teach me right out. And it's like, well, if you cared, you would do this. You would, well, let's just be really honest. I'm just gonna throw it all out there. This is the type of shit my brain has thought. Yeah, if you cared, if you really cared, you would, you'd be checking on me, oh god, probably every other day is what my brain was saying. Because I started to be like, "Well, what would feel like people care?" Uh, I don't think that I actually, because when I called myself on that, like, "Huh, well, how do you feel cared for? What does it take?" And I'm like, "I don't really know." You know why? Because I'm living in victimhood from that place. So truly, there's not anything anyone can do to make me feel like I am supported unless I receive the support. So, um, yeah. So I've been like, okay, but when I ask myself, sometimes I'm like, yeah, maybe if people checked in more often, that would make me feel better. Um, or feel cared for or supported. You know what I mean? No, it wouldn't. No, it fucking wouldn't. Because I also get annoyed at the question, how are you doing? Because I don't know how to answer it. Like, does that make sense? I don't know how to answer how I'm doing. I think I'm doing pretty well, all things considered. But it gets to where you don't want to say that because then it feels like people aren't seeing how bad this hurts if you're doing pretty well. Like, both. I'm in excruciating pain and I'm doing pretty well managing it. That's the thing. Again, and I just need to quit doing this, but like, this is me taking accountability and responsibility for my shit. And so, like, I am sorry if any of this hurts anyone's feelings. I really am. But this isn't a passive aggressive attack. This is literally me taking inventory. So I'm just trying to do that in a very honest way, okay? So yeah, I don't love being asked how I'm doing because I don't fucking want to answer the question. Because if I say I'm pretty well, the conversation just goes away. Like I feel like I can't answer it correctly because the truth is, when I'm asked that, it feels like the conversation dissipates no matter what. And and I am craving connection. This is who I was before I lost a child. I fucking crave connection. And even before Jake died, so much of the reason that I'm not talking to very many people most of the time is because I do this thing where I stop wanting to be the person to reach out first all the time. And it's not because I don't understand people have their own lives. I do. I just, I get to where like I'm like, okay, well, it's like I'm not sitting around thinking they don't love me or they don't care about me, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna give it effort. And I'm really good at like loving myself and entertaining myself now. So it's like I don't need that. But like to feel loved. No, that's not the right word. I crave connection, period, with people all the time. It has nothing to do with love because I feel that all the time. But like I just full stop. I crave connection as a human. That's something that's always been really important to me. Like, I can carry on a full-blown text conversation. I know that some people can't. I love it. I love to talk and just connect, even if we're not talking about me. Um, and so that's been a struggle no matter what. Where's the balance? And I think for me, what I've had to learn is as long as I'm not making the lack of communication about me and assuming that they're not talking to me because I am bad, I am wrong, or they value me less than I value as long as it's not that and I'm just kinda like, okay, well, then I won't put forth the effort either." I think that's fine. I think you can do that, and that's okay. And so that's where I've really worked is just to, like, not make those assumptions about people. Um I think I assume that they're loving me in their silence. They're going through their shit. And
Quick ad break. If you're feeling stuck, disconnected, or like your spirit and mind aren't speaking the same language, Jen Taylor, LCSW, might be exactly who you're looking for. Jen is a spiritual psychotherapist who blends Reiki healing, spiritual psychotherapy, astrology, coaching, tarot, and oracle card readings to help you gain clarity, release blocks, and reconnect with your inner wisdom. Whether you're navigating emotional healing, spiritual growth, or a life transition, Jen offers intuitive guidance grounded in real therapeutic support. Learn more or book a session with Jen Taylor where healing meets insight. You can check the show notes for how to get in touch with her.
and that's that. And you know what? I'm going through my shit right now and I'm loving you in the silence. Okay. I'm not there at the level that I was before in terms of being able to support people. Um, because I find that I have a very low tolerance. It's just like when I was in high school and I was like, these people do not fucking get it. Like, this is very unfair, I will say that, but there's so many times that I'm like, that is so fucking insignificant. Like, I can't believe you're wasting your time worrying about that when my kid's dead. People's kids die, and you're worried about that. I would never say that to somebody. And it's not like a lasting thought, but it comes up a lot. And it's just like, well, it hurt it hurts sometimes to see other people post their children on social media. And my initial thought, because I always gotta do the bitch thing first. My first thought was like, how fucking dare you? How fucking dare you post your children sledding when you know my kid died? I mean, I got 2 other kids, but what? And that's not fair to anyone, right? So it's my responsibility to view social media smart, to protect my peace, to, really curate how I'm gonna engage with social media. Facebook doesn't make me super happy right now. It didn't before Jake either. But because of Jake, um, all the communication on there, whatever, I've been more active on it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, really. For so many fucking reasons, I do not like it. Um, so yeah, so that's been a thing. So yeah, I'm not like as available as I was because well, I have PMS, and this is my second PMS since Jake died, and it is fucking brutal. Because I got the PMDD anyway, and then you add I'm grieving, and it's not pretty. And, I fucking start with the full moon, so it's a lot. Okay, it's a lot. So, the last thought I was really having about this, the reason that I went over the edge and said, I'm gonna go make this episode now. I don't know if I'll release it tomorrow since I just released one Friday, but um I asked myself, does your pain have to be witnessed to exist? And I answered that with, well, no, no, because I can try to ignore my pain and it will violently escape in some way or another if I do. So it is very much there even when I don't witness it. So I said, okay, does your pain require witnessing to be valid? No, it doesn't. No matter what anybody else thinks or views or judges or whatever, my pain is valid. And that lost mom's pain is valid. And the people who lost their dogs' pain is valid. Everybody's pain is valid. And it does not have to be validated externally for you to know that it matters that you're in pain. So, what do we do? What's the next step? And for me, it is just witnessing myself the way I do with everything now. All of those things that we just beg other people to give us, we have to learn to give to ourselves. And so I just say, I see you. You miss Jake so much. You do. And, um, you don't have to explain how awful it is. Um, you don't have to try to prove that it hurts so much. Um, you're allowed to feel whatever, and you don't have to prove it. And no one else has to accept or validate what you say you feel. And so just give myself a really big hug. And I recognize that if I'm in my brain this much to begin with, I need to feel. I need to be in my body. And that's what I do. And I will let you know that I learned in a conversation the other day, I don't remember if this part was recorded or not, but I learned that the reason I was struggling so badly with the panic with the puppy and whatever, when I had like, almost a full-blown panic attack, I didn't ground. I didn't do any grounding tools because I was really like at a 10. And so you can't logic your way out of a level 10. When you're running from the bear, there's no logic and there's no emotion. There's no emotional regulation. You're literally in survival. So you're running from the bear. So you have to get out of your brain for a second and ground in the present. And so I've told you all this before, but my grounding method is to start naming shit I see in front of me because that's in the here, that's in the now, that's real. What's up here wasn't real. My dog wasn't dead. So, yeah. So I did that the other day because I had a little mini moment, just let you know. I did that the other day and I got from like a 10 to a 6 and then I could say, what's going on, honey? And, just kind of question what was going on and that's when I was able to regulate, calm my body down, whatever, but you gotta get out of your brain first. So, um, yeah. So is there a way to tie this up into a neat little bow? Um, maybe not. I don't know. I was just thinking, I don't wanna do grief in a way that will bring me more pain unnecessarily, or push people away when they mean well. But yeah, I think for me, I'm going to just proceed with the understanding that when people say damn near anything other than like, I love you and I support you, if when when you're trying to relate that this can happen, um, then I will understand I'm just being hit in that neglect wound. It's my responsibility to handle that. We cannot Let me back up. It's fine when things hurt you for you to educate the general public on what does and doesn't feel good when someone's grieving. But ultimately, the responsibility is ours. We have to create the safety within ourselves to not be triggered. And I'm so fucking grateful right now for my ability to work that shit out, for the universe or whatever you want to call your higher power, um, allowing me the privilege and the honor of fucking perspective. Perspective is everything. And I want to offer to you, if you are somebody who has been hurt by the things that other people are saying, you're pissed at the same thing. You're pissed at the same thing. And I don't know, especially if you lose a child, there isn't anyone who's gonna understand you, honey. And even the lost moms, I feel like they understand me, but I don't necessarily feel like we relate a lot. Not just because we've lost a kid, like, I don't know. Anyway, um, I don't know. I just find myself being very protective of myself, not always in a good way. And I'm gonna keep working on that. And, the thing is these were all wounds I had prior to Jake. Like, I was gonna get pissed about something no matter what. Now, I haven't had, like, a huge problem with that in the last whatever years, but, like, it happens. That shit happens. My friend Lori, hi Lori, sent me an email, I think today, saying, "Thank you for talking about that struggle with when Brian was out of town, because it makes her feel less alone." I'm like, "Baby, have you been listening to the show? I fuck up all the time. I'm so imperfect and I still struggle a lot. So I'm sorry if I made anybody feel like I tell my clients this, I'm only about 1.5 steps ahead of you, honey." So like, thank you for such a sweet thing to like, that made me feel really good. Like, oh, I'm so glad you feel seen. But also like, baby, mama, that's why we got this show. Cause for real, my natural instinct is to be emotionally unavailable. So yeah, I feel so much better even after just getting to talk about this, like so good. Um, yeah, pretty happy. So anyway, I think that's it for now. I love you guys. I so much appreciate you being here. Um, if you, I, I hate plugging my shit, but here's the thing. Mama's trying to, not have to take on a whole lot of clients right now. So gotta make money somehow. I got them damn workbooks up for sale. I gotta put out a new one soon. I've got the outline and everything. I just gotta make it. Um, Safe to be Seen really talks about that visibility wound, which comes from the neglect wound. Actually, Emotional Alchemy would be a good one too. What I've just done in this conversation is a very good example of what emotional alchemy is. You allow yourself to be triggered. We don't shame the triggers. We get curious about them. And then we understand them and we change a belief and we change. Our paradigm completely shifts. So, really, any one of my workbooks would be great for that. Um, if you want a very affordable way, they're only like $15 anyway. But if you subscribe to the Patreon at the $10 level, you get all the workbooks. So I was putting out one a month and then, my kid died. So didn't get one last month. I do intend to put one out any day now. But yeah. So um I'm grateful. I'm grateful for myself. I'm grateful for love. I'm grateful for joy. I'm grateful for beautiful people in my life and all the love and support that I have had. Um, but I do think one thing I didn't touch on is
In a world where judgment quietly shapes how we see ourselves, therapist and author Jen Taylor, LCSW, invites us into something gentler. With over 25 years as a New York based spiritual psychotherapist, Jen blends psychology, spirituality, and astrology to help women, teens, and LGBTQIA+ individuals find their way back to self-worth. In Volume 7 of the Letters to Myself, Jen explores how self-judgment becomes our harshest critic and how compassion can become our greatest healer. And for families navigating loss, her children's book, Melvin and His Magical Star, offers a tender story about grief, love, and the truth that love never disappears. Find hope, healing, and gentle guidance with Jen Taylor. I will have links for her in the show notes.
I have to get better about reaching out to people too. Like, it's not their responsibility to check on me, and that's not a way to prove they love me and that they support me. So I did, just so you know, I texted a friend and asked if we could do a game night soon. So feel good about that. Yeah, so be well. I love you. I really hope that you get something out of this episode. I would love to hear from you if you do. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. Hey, make sure you've given the show a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening to if you haven't already. And check out my website, empoweredwithmelisahepner.org, or my link tree on Instagram at melissa.hepner to check out my latest offers or workshops. All right, that's it from me. So make sure that you check out the show notes for links. And until next time, let's all just keep swimming.
INDEPE and cut.